As Africa's leading defense news portal, DefenceWeb aims to give you the latest updates on African defense, the South African National Defense Force, and the defense industry. Hi folks, welcome to the past week in defense. In this week's edition on the continent, Egypt unveils the Temsah 4 Armoured Personnel Carrier, Senegal is to receive more Epsilon trailers from France, PTDI is preparing to deliver another CN-235 to Senegal, and experts look at maritime security in the Cabo Delgado region. In SANDF news, a joint infantry officer is the first South African to complete a Pakistani course, and COVID-19 delays the new Air Force Base Durban build. In company news, the Special Defense account cut means fewer projects for Armscor. Global Command and Control Technologies emerges as a new decision augmentation specialist. SATCOM is expecting a boom year in 2021. Aero Vodochody is helping the Nigerian Air Force reactivate L-39 jets, and Hensoldt South Africa launches its new Bushbaby surveillance system. In African defense news, Egypt unveils Temsah 4 APC. Egypt has unveiled the latest version of its Temsah Crocodile Armoured Personnel Carrier, the 4x4 Temsah 4. It was inspected by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on the 2nd of December, according to the Egyptian Ministry of Military Production. It is believed that the Temsah 4 will be used by special forces and security forces. The Temsah is Egypt's flagship locally produced armored vehicle, which is available in a wide array of variants, including a 6x6 personnel carrier and a 4x4 troop transport. Its V-hull gives landmine protection, while the hull is protected against 7.62mm armor-piercing rounds and shell splinters. It is built by the Cairo factory for developed industries and was first unveiled in 2016. Since then, several variants have emerged, including the Temsah 1, Temsah 2, Temsah 3, and Temsah Light. Senegal to receive more Epsilon trainers from France. Senegal's Air Force will in 2021 take delivery of 3 TB30 Epsilon piston engine trainers from France, while Togo is returning its 2 aircraft to service. This emerged during the 13th of November visit to Senegal by Chief of Staff of the French Air and Space Force, General Philippe Lavigne, who was in Dakar, Senegal, to preside over the inauguration ceremony of the new aircraft stopover facility for the French elements in Senegal at Blaise-Diagne International Airport. The facility assists France and the G5 Sahel nations in their fight against terrorist groups in the region, particularly through the French-led Operation Barkhane. In May 2019, the Air Force School at Thies officially received 2 Epsilon trainers from France for pilot training. France has donated another aircraft to Senegal in the past, and in 2014 the West African nation received 4 Epsilon trainers. These aircraft were used to train around 15 pilots between 2014 and 2019, marking a major turning point in the history of the Air Force. Another Epsilon was due to be delivered by sea and used for maintenance. Senegal's Air Force had 2 Epsilons in service prior to 2014. These were delivered in 2006. Air and Cosmos reported that the 3 additional Epsilons will be delivered in 2021, will bring to 10 the number delivered by France, as it retires them from its Air Force. Meanwhile, Togo will return its 2 Epsilons to service after placing them in storage following a non-fatal September 2017 accident. PTDI preparing to deliver another CN-235 to Senegal. PT Dirgantara Indonesia, PTDI, will soon deliver another CN-235 aircraft to Senegal, which will be used for maritime patrol. PTDI on 8th of December posted photos of the aircraft on its Twitter account, announcing the aircraft's maiden flight. A few more test flights to go before this airplane reaches Senegal, the company said. The latest CN-235 for Senegal was rolled out by PTDI on the 4th of August and is equipped with a forward-looking infrared sensor bore under the nose and belly-mounted radar for the maritime patrol role. It appears Senegal has ordered another CN-235 from Indonesia. In May 2020, the Indonesian embassy in Senegal announced that the Senegalese government had agreed to purchase a CN-235 configured for maritime patrol, maritime security, and the Cabo Delgado insurgency. When Mozambican insurgents known as Al-Sunai captured the ports of Mocingo de Praia in early September 2020, it meant the ISIS-inspired group had added a maritime dimension to the conflict in northern Mozambique. By controlling the ports and making the coastline insecure, the group that has killed over 1,000 and displaced over 250,000 people can now prevent and counter maritime operations against us. Kelly Moss, African maritime security researcher at Stable Seas, said violent non-state actors or VNAs exploit the sea to cause violence on land in what she calls the land-sea nexus. Moss says that the VNAs use the sea in 2 operational ways and 3 ways for financial gain. The first is tactical support, which is using the sea to transport fighters, weapons, and other operational assets. The second operation is targeting ships or ports. VNAs get financial revenue through trafficking, trade, taxes, and extortion. These VNAs take assets for their financial gain through piracy and unarmed robbery at sea. They traffic and trade illicit goods and services, typically liaising with organized criminal networks in their region. region. Taxation and extortion are also known streams of revenue for VNAs, obtaining payments from local communities or businesses. Al-Sana has evolved to use all 5 modes. According to Moss, tactically, Al-Sana uses small boats to transport fighters and supplies as well as carry out attacks on not only Cabo Delgado but the islands in that area as well. The group is using the sea for targeting, seen when fighters sunk a Mozambican Armed Forces patrol boat, or when they attacked and captured Mosinga de Praia, with some fighters entering through land and sea. Moss concluded in providing 2 possible maritime scenarios that could play out in the future. The first scenario is the group successfully connects to transnational criminal networks that are operating in the region and they start earning revenue on illicit trades, which could potentially open the gate for piracy and armed robbery. On the 23rd of November, the first instances of piracy occurred when insurgents dressed in Mozambican security uniforms arrived on Isla Kofuke, Palma district via canoe and attacked civilians. 3 deaths were reported with an unknown number of people taken hostage. Sailboats in the waters of Palma and Mosamboa de Praia were also attacked by insurgents during this raid, which captured 7 boats and 20 passengers. The second scenario is the group starts attacking commercial vessels for a myriad of reasons. The third scenario, the group circumvents Palma and focuses on the north, continuing to attack southern Tanzania by sea. This could possibly include the kidnapping and hostage-taking of foreign nationals. Jasmine Opperman, with the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, dispelled perceptions that drug trafficking in the area is sponsoring the insurgency, in saying the insurgents do not have the capacity in this point and time to provide protection for trade routes. The maritime area has a long history in drug trafficking with established networks. Cross-pollination between the insurgency and criminal networks is a possibility, but Opperman said no evidence right now suggests organized crime is funding the group. If the group were to become involved in the illicit trade, it is most likely they will become involved in rubies, gold, and diamonds instead of other main illicit options, drugs and timber, due to ease of sale and transport. And in SANDF news, junior infantry officer is first South African to complete Pakistani course. A South African junior infantry officer, Captain Kavin Korshi Macho, has the distinction of being the first to attend and complete an Officer Advanced Commando course in Pakistan. The aim of the Officer Commando course is to recruit, train, and empower young Pakistani officers and equip them with the necessary skills and knowledge to serve, protect, and defend Pakistan against terrorists and any kind of national threat. Modules those on the course underwent and were successful and included improvised explosive devices, anti-terrorist training, and mountain craft, advanced navigation, minor tactics and survival, watermanship, mountain and snow warfare, parachute training, desert warfare, and a combined exercise. Organized agriculture buying into Project Koba-Tlala. Project Koba-Tlala is spreading its wings, with organized agriculture now abroad as the new SA Army Reserve initiative gains traction in efforts to supply military messes and see part-time soldiers working and earning from small-scale farming. Recently, senior representatives from one of the major agricultural representative organizations in the country, Agri-SA, met a top National Defense Force delegation. Agenda items included the necessity for improved rural and border security, as well as a collaboration on Project Koba-Tlala. Koba-Tlala is the chief of the South African National Defense Force project, indicating both approval and support from the Office of the Chief General, Solly Sholke. This classification, along with the nod of approval from Defense and Military Veterans Minister Nosiviwe Mapisa-Ngakula, ensures it does not stagnate. COVID-19 delays new AFB Durban build. Another casualty of the coronavirus pandemic in South Africa is the new Air Force Base at King Shaka International Airport, with occupancy now expected around the end of 2025. Work commenced in 2019 with environmental impact assessments as well as the landscaping, leveling of the ground. The construction time frame is 5 years. However, it will be moved to the right, with a year due to the last year as the result of COVID-19 pandemic. According to time schedule, the new base is anticipated to be occupied around the end of 2025 to the beginning of 2026, provided that no other external factors impede the construction progress. Was now how SA National Defense Force Director Corporate Communication Brigadier General Mafi Ngobozi responded to a Defense Web inquiry. And in industry news, Special Defense Account cut means fewer projects for Armscor. Armscor core function is the acquisition of defense material and related services, primarily for the National Defense Force, but this work will be significantly decreased with cuts coming to the primary source of defense capital expenditure, the Special Defense Account. At the end of November, Armscor Chief Executive Advocate Solomzi Mbada said the cuts to the Department of Defense Administration (SDA) would see active funded projects drop to just 15 in the 2020/2021 financial year. Armscor managed 39 Special Defense Account funded projects in the 2019/20 financial year. Projects are divided into 2 categories: technology and capital acquisition, and procurement and maintenance support, valued at a total of 12 billion rand. Technology and capital acquisition account for the majority, 65%, worth 7.7 billion rand, while procurement and maintenance at 4.4 billion rand, making up the 35% balance. Global command Command and Control Technologies emerges as a new decision augmentation specialist. Global Command and Control Technologies, or GC2T, is one of the newest defense companies to emerge in South Africa, specializing in command, control, training, and simulation solutions. GC2T emerged from Saab Grintech Defense after the latter divested some of its portfolios in 2019, which were then taken over by GC2T. African Equity Empowerment Investments Limited, AEEI, formerly Sekunjalo Investments, and AYO Technology Solutions are now the new shareholders of GC2T. AEEI had in 2015 acquired a 25% stake in Saab Grintech Defense for approximately 125 million rand. GC2T says it offers decision augmentation solutions including command and control to defense, security, and related technology customers. The company's core products are the Chaka Command and Control System, Chaka Warrior Soldier System, Blue Force Tracker, Chaka Nav Tactical Navigation System, Surveillance Control and Air Defense System, SCAD, Distributed Ancillary Information Display System, DARD, and Battle Tech Simulation System. SATCOM expecting boom year in 2021. Namibian military radio specialist SATCOM expects to have a boom year in 2021 as it continues to successfully penetrate the international market, launch new products, and set up facilities for local radio production in customer countries. SATCOM will build on its successes of 2020, which was a relatively good year in spite of the coronavirus pandemic. The company's managing director David Brown told DefenseWeb that one of the highlights of 2020 was receiving a lot more inquiries for its products, especially from countries never thought possible, as SATCOM opens up international markets. SATCOM will be establishing a factory in a customer country for the assembly of some products under their license. The agreement allows the customer to build and resell radios. SATCOM is currently talking to 3 countries on the transfer of technology. SATCOM is indeed working on a number of new products, including a network radio it hopes to bring out in the second or third quarter of 2021. It also hopes to bring out a handheld radio around the same time to meet the market demand for a smaller, low-cost, mass-produced radio. Another new product is the Hammerhead. This is the Leopard radio with a new man/machine interface. It has a bigger screen and larger controls to make it easier to see and use, especially in maritime applications where a boat might be moving wildly. Other developments include investigating a radio for airborne platforms in response to a requirement for a customer in Europe. Brown said SATCOM's most exciting project is an IP network radio for mesh networks it is developing with an international customer. Aero Vodochody, helping Nigerian Air Force reactivate L-39 jets. Czech manufacturer Aero Vodochody is helping the Nigerian Air Force NAF return a number of L-39ZA jets to service, with 2 refurbished aircraft handed over on the 4th of November, while 3 L-39ZAs undergo maintenance in the Czech Republic. Local refurbishment work began on 3 L-39ZAs on the 6th of November. The L-39ZA Life Extension Program, which involves in-depth inspection of main and crucial components of the airframe, engine, avionics, and escape system of the aircraft, is being executed by the original equipment manufacturer Aero Vodochody, with support from NAF engineers and technicians. It follows the previous life extension of another 3 L-39s. Hensoldt South Africa launches new Bushbaby surveillance system. Hensoldt South Africa has launched this new Bushbaby long-range electro-optical sensor platform designed for infrastructure and border protection, amongst others. The Bushbaby was displayed during a capability demonstration in Pretoria in late November. The Bushbaby is a land-based long-range imaging system for persistent surveillance, allowing the operator to identify and track intrusions, smugglers, terrorists, drones, or other conventional asymmetric threat. Main applications include critical infrastructure protection, airfield and sea ports protection, military and force protection, national key point monitoring, coastal and maritime surveillance, water security patrol, and aerial threat identification. The system is able to operate 24 hours a day in night and poor weather conditions and can be fixed or fitted to a vehicle. The Bushbaby incorporates several sensors, namely a daylight HD sensor, a mid-wave infrared HD sensor, and a short-wave infrared sensor. This multi-spectrum sensor suite is capable of detecting threats up to ranges close to 30 kilometers. An eye-safe laser rangefinder can measure distance up to 20 kilometers. A human can be detected at a typical range of 16 kilometers with the medium-wave infrared sensor recently developed and now produced by Hensoldt in South Africa. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our daily and weekly newsletter, and our other social media platforms if you enjoyed the webcast. Leave a comment below. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.